Brett, let's jump into the MLB now because, like I said, you started red hot at 3-0. We have another great slate of games on Monday now because the way baseball works is we have it every day to bet on. We have it every day for fantasy. What games caught your eye out of the Monday lineup?
Well, I think the Blue Jays taking on the Texas Rangers is an interesting one. Higgins, Steven Matz making his first start for the Blue Jays. Fulte coming back from a weird 2020 season where he was actually released by the Braves and, didn't look very good. Higgins, he makes his first start for the Rangers. I think the Blue Jays are a team to buy this season, Higgins, whether it be in fantasy, whether it be in the day to day markets. You could even bet some long term futures like will they or won't they make the playoffs. You could take their over under if you want. I'm buying the Blue Jays as a really good baseball team this year. I'm selling the Rangers. They are a bad baseball team, in my opinion. So Toronto -1.5 with a pitcher, that was a pretty big acquisition for them this offseason on the mound, making his first start of the year. I'm excited for the Blue Jays. I think they can win this game by more than a run and a half. And I'm getting plus 104 on the odds here, on the juice here. So I'm not going to complain, Higgins. I'm just going to take that number and, hope for the best. I think it makes a lot of sense. Obviously, anything can happen in a single game, but I think we'd all expect the Blue Jays to take 2 out of 3 from Texas.
Hey, I don't mind that pick at all. I also agree. I think Toronto has a fantastic young nucleus that played together all of last season. I think they're only going to grow upon that this season as well. And like we have mentioned, they're starting off their season at least in a spring training ballpark. So who's to say how that helps, even though they are on the road in this game in Texas, obviously. Brett, we are all over this AL East, though, because I like this Rays Red Sox game, and it's because the Red Sox, they haven't won a game yet, to be honest, and until they do, or until they're at least pretty close to winning one, I'm going to fade that. I'm going to take Tampa Bay -1.5 at plus 140. I mean, you should understand you have the Rays as a playoff team. I think the Rays are a pretty good team as well. The Red Sox, they still have a lot of jumbled pieces from last year. It didn't really get clarified at all. So, I'm not really sure what that team's April's gonna be, but I do know they've lost their first three games, and all three of those games actually have been multi-run losses.
Yeah,
So why not bet on it again?
yeah, it has been ugly for the Red Sox to start the year, Higgins. And like you said, the Rays are just the model of consistency. They just win baseball games. So I definitely kind of like where your head's at in this one. I couldn't pull the trigger because I wasn't sure, if the Red Sox issues were more about the Red Sox or more about Baltimore. And I decided I'm going to ride the Baltimore train, Higgins. Plus 190 on the money line going into New York. New York's throwing out Jordan Montgomery. That's not a guy I really care that much about. Sure, let's go, Baltimore. Let's keep the hot streak going in the Bronx. I'm sure the Yankees wouldn't mind if the Red Sox took an L.
I like that pick. I also think the Orioles have put together a much better team than we've seen in recent years. The Orioles used to be synonymous with consistency at the bottom of the league, but they got a lot of great pieces because of that, and I think we're starting to see a different side of a Baltimore squad, a good side for our love of the orange.
For our love of the orange, I like it. Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone had them sweeping Boston to start the year, so maybe they're just playing with confidence, have some hot bats. The Yankees lost their series to the Rays, so Giancarlo Stanton was struggling out of the gate. Who's to say he turns it around in this series? So I don't know. I just thought the number was too good for a 3-0 team against a struggling team.
Talk about a really good team. I'm going to switch to the NL now, and I want to talk about where the pitchers have to hit. But this pitcher on the mound is going to be lights out this year. I'm really a fan of Dustin May, and he's got the bats behind him in the Dodgers lineup that taking them at -1.5 on the run line, like our Beginners Boulevard is obviously, is never really a bad pick. They're at plus 102, so you get favorable odds. It's not the greatest odds, like the Rays pick that I had plus 140, but it's the Dodgers who can score a lot of runs, and Dustin May has the arm that could keep an Oakland A's batting squad quiet, I think. So I'm going to take the Dodgers.
Yeah, fair enough. I do like the A's pitcher in this matchup too, Higgins. I'm a big Dustin May fan, but I gotta give credit where credit is due. Frankie Montas is a really good young pitcher in Oakland as well. So honestly, I'm excited to watch this game, watch those guys battle for the first few innings. But I do think, like you said, the Dodgers bats are just gonna be too much to handle for a lot of teams this year.
Not to mention, like my logic against the Red Sox, who started their season 0-3, the Athletics have started 0-4, and all four of those games have also been multi-run losses. So, gotta prove it to me.
Gotta prove it to you. Fair
I'll
enough.
put my money where my mouth is too.
Fair enough. I like it. And last game I'm going to be on for the day, Higgins. Brewers at Cubs. The Cubs are kind of a selling team right now. The Brewers, I don't know if I'm buying that they're competing, but they think they're competing. So when I see a team that thinks they're competing versus a team that thinks they're selling, and the team that thinks they're competing are dogs, I'm gonna take that number. That's just really how I'm playing this.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense. I see that. I don't really know what to make of that NL Central right now, to be honest. I'm not really a big fan of any of those teams, so I'm kind of standing away and looking at to see who's going to take the lead in that division.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. If Corbin Burns pitches like he did in his first game, the Brewers are definitely competing.
Oh yeah, you said that you weren't sure if you were quite a
I
believer in
was
him,
not. I was not.
and you know what? He did great for my fantasy, so I can say I'm a happy camper.
He pitched very well, no doubt about it. So the Brewers with him, Devin Williams in the bullpen, Hader in the bullpen. They have Hauser, Woodruff. So maybe they do have some enough arms there to get it done.